but to sit and watch your loved one be murdered touches the soul in a way that's just unexplainable.
The video that shocked the Bay Area is back in the headlines. The New Year's Day shooting of Oscar Grant at the Fruitvale BART station was played in court today. KRON 4 has reaction from Grant's family members on this first day of a preliminary hearing in the case. Plus, protesters outside the courthouse voiced their anger.
I'm very upset that the officer has not been charged with murder one.
KRON 4 has complete coverage on today's events.
As for the preliminary hearing, it is set to determine if there's enough evidence for Mehserle to stand trial. KRON 4's Hazik Banyoun begins tonight's top story coverage.
It was these two amateur videos of the Oscar Grant shooting that the assistant DA primarily focused on the first day of the preliminary hearing in the People versus Johannes Mehserle. First, the DA examined this video shot by BART passenger Karina Vargas, seen here, who testified that shortly after the train stopped at the Fruitvale station, she saw a BART officer yelling, cussing, and telling Grant's friends to get off the train, that the boys seemed nervous but cooperating, and that Grant was not resisting. Next was this video shot by another BART passenger, Margarita Carrazzo, who told the court a similar story, testifying Oscar Grant was not fighting back. On day 2, there will be additional videos of the New Year's Day shooting played for the court, including never-before-seen amateur video that was turned over to BART police the day of the incident. Protesters gathered outside the courtroom, and KRON 4's Dave Gangona was there.
We are all Oscar Grant. Enough is enough.
Around 60 protesters gathered outside the courthouse early Monday morning, chanting, displaying signs, and giving speeches.
We need to stop this pattern of police getting away with murder and no action being taken.
After the hearing began, a group marched a couple blocks away to Laney College to try and recruit more demonstrators. At Laney, a friend of the Grant family spoke about how the family needs the support of the people of Oakland.
The whole system is guilty. We have to stand up. We have to fight back. We have to come together. We have to stand in unity.
Back at the courthouse, demonstrations continued until Grant's uncle came out to address the crowd after the hearing.
And by you being here, it's setting an example of how justice can be won. And so we look forward to this victory and your involvement in it.
The crowd began chanting in support of Grant's family and vowed to come back every day as long as the hearings were taking place. In Oakland, Dave Gangona, KRON 4 News.
Once the Mehserle hearing went to break for the day, the protesters took to the streets of Oakland. You see that video here. They marched up 12th Street to Broadway and then to Oakland Police Headquarters. Aside from being very vocal, there was little trouble with police, only one arrest made. The protesters say they'll return every day as this case continues. The death of Oscar Grant happened in front of numerous witnesses. You can see the confusion as the officers surround him on the ground, but what actually happened was not immediately apparent. Here's a timeline of the events.
Just 2 hours into the new year, Oscar Grant is shot by BART police officer Johannes Mehserle at the Fruitvale station. On January 3rd, a witness comes forward with a cell phone video showing Grant on his stomach, not
and go, there it is, Judge, look at that.
Karina Vargas, who shot one of the videos, testified Officer Mehserle appeared to be keeping his cool before drawing his weapon. He wasn't aggressive at all. He looked like he was doing what he had to do, she said. Vargas says after firing his gun, Mehserle put his hands on his head and appeared dumbfounded. When prosecutors played the fatal shot, everyone in court jumped. Grant's mother cried and hugged a family member, while Mehserle looked straight ahead.
When you see a loved one that has been murdered, it's really striking to the soul. It's very painful each time I look at that video, and I'm sure for the rest of the family it's very painful. But we know this is something we have to go through at this time to get justice for Oscar.
Both Vargas and Margarita Carrazzo, who also videotaped the scene, testified Grant was cooperating. Carrazzo said, quote, Oscar wasn't fighting back. He wasn't doing anything at all.
Oscar was totally cooperative in every event of the situation. Every witness has said that he was submissive. He obeyed every order was given. He was not combative. He was not fighting back.
Now, Messerly will be back in court tomorrow as prosecutors continue to present their case. Now, we understand a video that has never been seen in public before may be played in court tomorrow. We also understand this preliminary hearing could last a couple of weeks. Reporting live in Oakland, I'm Jody Hernandez, NBC Bay Area News.
Thank you, Jody. That BART shooting is bringing back emotional memories for another East Bay family. Chila Amaya was shot and killed by a Union.
Speed is much faster and off.
Had his hands behind his back when Messerly shot him. Grant's family said the testimony was painful to hear. Their attorney says the defense will have a difficult time proving Messerly meant to grab his taser.
Every witness has said that he was submissive. He obeyed every order was given. He was not combative.
What you'll have is conjecture. It will not be evidence. It will be no evidence that will say that he said, I'm reaching for a taser, nor will the evidence show that he, in fact, tried to reach for a taser.
Attorney Michael Cardoza was in the courtroom following the case. He expects it to go to trial, but thinks murder charges will be difficult to prove.
I think a jury, any jury anywhere, would be very hard-pressed to say that Messerly pulled his weapon with willful, deliberate, and premeditative intent with malice aforethought to commit a first-degree murder.
Now, today, Judge C. Don Clay denied a request by Messerly's attorney to have the district attorney dismissed from the case. Messerly at this point remains out on bail, and this preliminary hearing here at the courthouse is scheduled to last for about 2 weeks. Tomorrow, we expect to hear from one of the witnesses who was on the platform during this New Year's morning shooting, and he will show video that has not yet been seen publicly. Reporting live at the courthouse, Cecilia Vega, ABC 7 News.
All right, Cecilia, thank you.